teach one. Just sonke, langa linda bandaba. Education is key to success. We have developmental. Each one, have to teach one. Must bomb beside one. We have each one, got to teach one. Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Khalil Osiris. Welcome to Each One Teach One. Child-headed households are far more common in our country than we're often aware of. Losing a parent is an emotionally traumatic event. Losing both is life-changing.
My name is Auspicious and Mluleki. I'm 19 years old. I stay with my brothers. Mungezi is the firstborn and I'm the secondborn. And me and my twin actually, but then I'm the oldest. And my little brother. I'm just a public child in this family. I'm the public one and I'm the only girl. So like when I was 10 years old, I was mommy's girl, daddy's girl, and our life was perfect. It was all that I've ever wanted. We're staying at Brongosbury in the suburbs until my parents decided to apart and my father got a new family and all that, and then my father passed on.
Baba Mashona, it was 2005. Washona vele, we were so close vele nomama ethu besesizwana nomama kakhulu, and besesithatha izumama njengobaba ethu futhi, so ukufa kwababa nakho azange wasi-affecta kangaka.
So we stayed with my mother. She was a single parent, and by then she lost everything because she was traumatized, because she had to face the fact that she has to be a mother and a father to us. So by that time my mother lost her job. She lost everything, the car, the house. We
did have a financial issue because she was a widow. She was a widow and she was alone and raising up 4 kids.
And we had to find a way to live. So my mother was like, I'll have to look for a job in a school. And I was like, what are you going to do? You did commerce at school, you never did teaching at school. What are you going to do there? She's like, I'll have to clean the toilet. It was hard for me knowing that my mother will have to clean toilets where I was studying. And then a year later, they promoted her to be a teacher because my mother was one of those people who likes to talk just like me. So she got promoted and she became a commerce teacher. She taught for like 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then she got a job in Verniegen.
Umama ngathi wathola umsebenzi vele as manager ngathi somewhere around the valley. So bethanda ukushiya sisodwa lana, so ngathi beshiya sisodwa aze ngama weekends. So
we stayed together and my mother would just come on Friday and see us and all that. By that time we were doing grade 7. Our birthday is on the 5th, and I was like, Mommy, you're turning 16 today. And then she called me and my brother, and that was the first time my mother kissed us. Mommy wouldn't kiss us just like that. There's something is wrong, something fishy. So on the 6th, my mother didn't sleep here at home. She came back at around about 4. And then she walked in the room and she was like, shh, don't tell the boys I just walked in. I'm like, no, it's fine. But then I need to talk to you about something. I said, what? Why is your belly so big now? What's happening? Are you pregnant? She was like, no, I'm not pregnant. No, I'm too old. You know that I had a womb cancer. I took out my womb. I was like, what's in here? She's like, I don't know, but then it's fine. And I was like, no, you're losing weight now. What's wrong? So no, I'll be fine. I made a research about big bellies. I'm an internet person. What happens if someone has a big belly and that person is not pregnant? And apparently it was kwashiorkor. She went to the toilet. She's just stayed there. She just sat there for an hour. I'm like, no, let me just check on her. And then when I walked in, she said, I can't do it anymore. I can't take it, it's hard. I'm like, no, mommy, you're a fighter. You can fight this. And she was like, Nana, I can't do it anymore. I can almost see God taking me. I'm like, no, not now. And then she gave me 50 rand. Says, this 50 rand is for you to last for the whole week. I don't know how you're going to do it, but this is for you to last. Just call the ambulance for me. So I took that 50 rand and I called the ambulance.
Wasitshela vele that time athi ingane zami njengoba ngihamba kaso, I don't feel like ukuthi I'm going to come back. I'm not telling you that I'm going to die or what, but I don't feel like ukuthi I'm going to come back as I'm going to a hospital now. On the 15th of October, we went to the hospital.
Then when we got there, she was okay. She was perfectly fine, and she even gave us some food to bring back home to eat. Said, I'm going to be fine.
She was looking good, and I thought namguthi mama uba ngcono.
And then I was happy. That was -1 problem for me. I was now stress-free. I was like, okay, now mommy's getting better. When we went to school, I was so happy that I'm going to see my mother. My mother's okay. And it was on the 17th.
Siyabuya ningane asekhaya, ngibuya nomntana sekhaya vele because always after school bengijwayele ukuhamba naye. Ngibuya naye, ayisibona imoto la ngaphandle. Ngithi ayina kuzothi yabani le moto lana.
I told him that no, they're going to take us to see mommy. Don't you remember? Like, oh yeah. And then we walked in. The first thing that caught my attention is the silence. The TV was off, no radio, no nothing. Just two people sitting in the dark, staring at each other. Like, no, sir, take a seat. We need to talk to you. I was sitting in this couch, and then I looked at them and I was like, what's up? Because I'm very hyped. I was like, what's up? Talk to me. Like, they're like, you know that your mother loved you. The minute they said that, everything became blank. Especially you, Nokzota, your mother loved you. And then I looked at her, and then she said, but then God has his own ways of doing things. And at this moment, he has taken your mother.
Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Welcome back. The paths that children follow to becoming their own caregivers are varied as our personal stories. But what we do know is that relationships in the family at the time of loss will be deeply affected by the individual grieving and healing process that plays itself out among the surviving children.
After the death of my mother, we are going to be taken to the orphanage home. Or we are moving out from La Oliveni,
My mother didn't allow us to stay with anyone. That's why she said, you guys must stay alone. I don't want you to be involved with family. Family has so many crises. After the death of my mother, it was very hard because first and foremost, my brothers are very quiet. So it was hard to talk to them about what happened. And to top it all off, I was too emotional to deal with the whole thing. We just didn't talk that much until one day it happened that we fought over dishes, me and my big brother, who must wash dishes. I was like, you know what, it's been a week now, mommy has passed on, and already you guys want me to act like a wife in this house. I can't do that.
I would say with my older brother, for him it was so difficult because he wasn't matric that time, and he was going to write his final exam. My sister Vele, she was then the only girl left in this house. And there was nothing vele thina nathi singane understand ukuthi amantombazane afuna aphathwe kanjani. So with my brother and my sister there was a conflict between them because sometimes they would fight, like shouting it because there was this day whereby vele bacishe vele balwa.
He pushed me to that cupboard, took out a knife. I was like, I'm going to kill her. I was like, do it now, because I have nothing left anymore. I have no one. It's like, don't make me do this. I was like, do it already. I don't want to live this life anymore. Mommy's not here. What's the use of me staying here? And then I was like, you know what? I'm out of this house. I went out for a night. I took a walk. It was around 9. I just gallivanted around, trying to just calm myself down. But then at that point, I just wanted to run away. And when I got here, I started cleaning. The only thing that kept me going was reading. I love reading novels. I'm one person who loves reading. Like, I would read and read. And if I feel like now I'm getting fed up with these boys, I'll just go in my room or go to the toilet and cry myself out. I was like, these guys don't understand that I'm trying my level best, and they don't know what I want. They never asked me, Auspicious, are you okay? Ever since Mommy passed on, because you were the only person who was close to her. They never did that. I was like, okay, they don't care about me.
Sometimes because sometimes I would be this guy who could say, I would be this guy who could say, man, now we are deaf, things like that. I wouldn't understand how a girl feels.
I tried committing suicide 3 times now. First time, I drank a lot of Panados, because usually there's a medication here. And by God's grace, I just vomited and lost weight. They didn't see that. So I had to talk to myself in the mirror. Talk to myself and all that. But then I felt that, no, there's some gap that I'm not filling up. I just need someone I can just talk to. No one knows that I was almost raped. No one knows that I wanted to go to this place called Spa to be a prostitute in order to get money. They never asked me how. Auspicious, where did you get this money? No one asked. The only thing that it was important to them is for them to eat, to study, and go to school. Because my brothers, they noticed nothing until the day my heart stopped, like it stopped functioning well at school. I took a dose of pills. Like, my brother has problems with his kidneys. So those pills, I took those pills and went to the toilet. About 5 minutes or so, I drank those pills without water. I drank those pills and I was like, God, this is it. I can't do it. I just can't do it anymore. It's school, home, like everything is too much. I can't be a mother. I can't even go out with friends to the malls and whatsoever, because I have to look after this house. So I was like, not even people want to spend that much time with me. When I got at school, I just went to a class. We had to attend physics. When I got there, I just sat and I felt that I couldn't breathe anymore. I went out and I tried pulling out the lawn, like the grass. I tried pulling out just to make the pain less, like to not to feel the pain. I tried, but then I just stopped breathing and I just left there.
Ngamthola ameclassini, like she was busy crying. Ngathini akhala asked ukuthi ke enzakalani nokuzona. And ngathini it was like there was ngathini bephuma umphefumulo elona wakhe emzimbeni wakhe, like he was busy and ngathini wafeinta waquleka. I was trying ukuthi ngithi ngimbamba feinta ngathini aquleka biza igama lami. I felt like, why am I losing everything now? Because I'm too young. I'm too young to lose such things, because it was my dad, my mother, now my sister.
And that's when I started regretting, what am I doing? Is this what I really want? And I was submitted to, when I woke up, I was in hospital. The first thing that I saw when I opened my eyes was my twin brother in tears. Like, I just asked myself, what would he be without me? Because he tells me everything. So I was like, no, I know all these guys. I know their character. I know why they're like this. if I leave them now, what will happen to that house? Then I closed my eyes, I prayed, God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. Please spare me this life. Just give me one more chance.
Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Trauma, fear, and further loss, and a lack of communication had brought this small family to the brink of death. But it was communication that bridged their emotional divide.
We've been processing well, if I can say, because after the fight and all that, the conflict, we somehow blended again, became very strong.
I have a bursary now because I got a top student bursary, which is South African Mint. I can also buy food with that amount of money that I always get each and every month for here at home and also for myself.
The company that gave my twin brother a bursary, my principal ambushed me and said I must give a word of thanks to them. And then when I started talking, they were actually touched by how my story. One of the guys who works in SABC was like, I want you to meet my wife. Okay, I met the wife, and ever since I met the wife, at the moment, I have two mothers. I call them mommy. Sister Mela from SA Mint, and this other lady, Sister Dominic, who actually works hand in hand with my twin brother. So they've been there for me. They understand me, and for the first time in like 4 years after my mother died, it was my first time crying that much, telling them how I really feel.
I would say the relationship between me and my sister is sithandana kakhulu ngendlela engithandana naye ngakhona. I don't know how to express it because of, even if nami this time ngihambile ngaya University of Johannesburg, I feel like ngathi we are apart, and being apart like this, even if a relationship is a distance from me and I, but I always take her as like the only girl like I have, man.
Well, it's good to be here. I am in awe of the story that both of you have. I guess as we talk about this story, one of the big things that a lot of people who will be watching the show will want to know is, what do you think are the main strengths you had?
From my perspective, I think it comes from praying, putting God first, because that's what my mother taught us. She said that if you put God first, everything will fall into places. That has kept us very strong. Whenever we feel that, okay, now we are falling apart, we just pray. We have a day whereby we'll have to do Holy Communion together, and that brings us very close, because we share our emotions then, and then that's when we'll say, okay, this person is feeling like this. So whenever we're having Holy Communion, it just brings us close together.
And I just think it's just the way you define success for yourself. You see, as people, like, we see success in different ways. It's how much you're hungry for it and how much pain you feel at that moment. Is that, are you gonna persevere on that pain and keep on being on that pain, or are you willing to come out?
What both of you have said is so mature beyond your age. First and foremost, to speak to the fact of remembering the lesson of your mother about faith and its importance, and how when everything else fails, there's a source where you connect with God, and God gives direction and sustenance.
You might be facing whatever situation you're facing at the moment, but that doesn't mean it will be the end of you. You have to wait and you're waiting, you must think of something that you'll do next. You must have an action plan. Don't just sit in whatever situation whereby you're sitting and expect things to just fall in places on its own. You have to work towards building yourself and evaluating yourself in, like, where do you lack? What is it that you lack, that you need to do in order for you to move from this point to another? So they must always have patience, persevere, and have an action plan to know where to go from here.
What is your dream? What would be a really great accomplishment for you from where you are today?
My greatest accomplishment would be starting my BA in psychology. And in like 3 years, I want to graduate and then do clinical psychology. I also want to talk to young girls. I want to advise them, to show them that even if you're alone, it doesn't mean that you have to change for certain things. You have to think twice before you do something. So I want to show them that there is more to what they are actually seeing.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And for you,
Yeah, I would say my greatest accomplishment is to see my siblings being as qualified as they can. That would be my greatest accomplishment.
what wisdom would you like to share imparting?
I would say to most of the people, like, it doesn't matter how much milk you spill, as long as you still have your cow. What I'm trying to say is that even if you can fail, as long as the matter of fact that you're still alive, always persevere. The matter of fact that you're still alive, persevere, persevere.
There's a saying that says, a human is like a bridge that passes car. That bridge, it was designed to carry an amount of weight at that very moment. So same applies to a human being. The problems that you have, it's for that moment. You can't, a bridge can't carry all the cars at once for the whole year. The ones that, it can't. What I'm trying to say is that a human, you mustn't carry all your problems at once. Next day, another problem will come. You won't carry all your problems, the ones that are bound to happen for the rest of your life that same day. So what I can tell you is that whatever situation you're facing at the moment, it will pass. Everything always comes to pass. Nothing stays there forever. Never give up, because the best is yet to come. Thank you.
I am so proud of both of you. God bless you, and thank you so much for allowing us into your home today.
Thank you.
Grief and loss require the same approach to recovery as any trauma. Dealing with your challenges one day at a time, and as Auspicious says, with faith, perseverance, and time, your life can and will improve. I'm Khalil Osiris. This is Each One Teach One. And until we meet again, stay in the light.